Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm going to be chatting through the books that I would like to read in the month of February. February truly has snuck up on me. I cannot believe we are nearing the end of January already. Like, be prepared to hear me say that like another 11 times. I'm always just so shocked how quickly the months seem to go by. So, without further ado, let's get into books I like to read for February. I do want to mention my two current reads that I would like to get done before the end of the month, one of which I'm going to really try to get done before the end of the month, but the other one I definitely don't think I'll finish before the end of January, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I am currently reading this. I am reading this for the first time in 6 years. I first read this book in 2018 and am now rereading it. I am trying to read the entire series. I do own them all, as you can see in the background. So I'm trying to get through this one before the end of the month. I am kind of participating in the House of Maas-Along read-along that Steph and the Roomies Digest is hosting. So trying to keep up with them, but I haven't been very successful. I think the live show is this weekend and I'm about halfway through with this. I'm really enjoying this one. Like, I'm liking it a lot more than the first time that I read this book. So I'll give you all my full thoughts on this book at some point because I will be doing a full video on my 1, 2, and 3-star reads for the year, probably mid-year. So this may be included on it or it may be in a recent reads depending on what I end up rating it. Another book that I'm currently reading is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I'm reading this as part of the Brandy Sandy along, so not entirely sure if I'm going to finish this before the end of the month. I really don't think I am because it's the 27th when I'm filming this video, and I really don't think I'm going to get this big, chunky, floppy fantasy book done in just a few days. So I'm participating in the Brandy Sandy along, which is a couple year-long read-along of all of Brandon Sanderson's books. I'm really having a good time with it. This is our first book, and I'm really excited to be getting to Stormlight Archive later this year and just reading all the Brando Sando, you know? Now let's talk about obligation reads, so book club books and things. So first of all, my in-person book club, our pick for February is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, I believe. If I'm wrong, you're seeing the cover. But this is a book, I believe, set in Egypt, and it's a historical fiction book, possibly YA. Really don't know too much about it, but I do have the ebook and audiobook on my iPad ready to go, so I will be reading that before book club, which is on the 8th of February. So looking forward to getting to this one, and I will let y'all know about my thoughts when I get to it. The next book I have to talk about is not for a book club per se, but it is a book that I really want to read. It's kind of a book club for myself, I guess. So I really want to read Ship of Destiny. I did not get around to this in January. I just read so many other things. So this really needs to happen in February because I'm dying to get to this book and I just keep not reading it. And I think the reason why I'm avoiding reading Robin Hobb is because I love her books so much and I don't want them to be over. So I really need to stop doing that and read good books. So I will be trying my hardest to read this book in February because I'm dying to see how this trilogy all wraps up. Another book club book is the Patreon book club for Steph's Patreon. We're going to be reading A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. I'm really looking forward to this one. I pre-ordered this book, very excited to read it with them. I'm so excited. I loved We Hunt the Flame, which I have not continued with that series, but I did really enjoy it when I did read it a couple years ago. So excited about this. I don't know what it is about fantasy with the inclusion of tea as part of the magic system. I just adore it. So very highly anticipating this one and I cannot wait to get to it. The next book I have to talk about is a buddy read book. We have started a buddy read in the Discord that I'm a part of for this series. So we read the first book in January and it sounds like we're planning on reading book 2 in February. So that series is The Name of All Things by Jen Loynes. I am obsessed. I am obsessed with this series. I recently just finished The Ruin of Kings and I love it. It is definitely one of my favorite books of the year. I know we're already in January, but it was just absolutely incredible. So I am dying to get to book 2. I think this is going to be a new all-time favorite series for me. I'm putting it out in the universe. 2024 is the year for 5-star books. And I'm already predicting this one to be another 5-star read because this series is so good. I do have one book currently on hold at the library that I need to pick up, so I do plan on reading that in February. So that book is The Ladies Rewrite the Rules. I can't remember the author's name, but you should be seeing it on the screen. I just am really intrigued about this one. It's like a Regency romance, and I believe it's like a gender bent retelling of something. I don't know. It sounds really good. So I borrowed it from the library because I am pushing myself, if I do want to read a new release, to borrow it from the library first, especially if it's from an author that I haven't read from before, because I have been burned so badly recently with reading books by authors that I've never read from before and really not enjoying it, and having spent $30 on a hardcover new release book. So looking forward to getting to this one, and I will let y'all know how it is. So those are all of my February reading plans, but I do also want to talk about my little TBR mug pick from January, which was Witch King by Martha Wells. I actually ended up DNFing this one. I really was not enjoying it, so I DNF'd it. So that does mean I think it's time to draw another book from my little TBR mug. So just to re-explain this again, this is every single one of my unread books on my physical TBR. Yeah, there's quite a few, but that is a big goal of mine for this year, is to get them mostly read. I don't expect to read all of them because that would be a lot of books. So let's pick what is the next TBR mug pick. Okay, I actually drew like the third book in the Rainwild Chronicles, Dragon Haven. I cannot read this book because I am not up to that book. So I'm going to leave this one out and draw again. I did include all the sequels, so it is fully accurate, but let's draw again and see if we can pick something else. Let's go to the very bottom. Oh gosh, this is too many. Okay, this one. This one's really long. It was a long title. Oh, it doesn't. Interesting. This is book 8 in a series that I'm currently on book 5, so we will leave that one out and do it again. Oh, golly. Come on, little TBR mug. Pick something for me. Pick something. Oh, one just fell out, but we're going to ignore that one. Interesting. Okay, there's a number at the end of this one because I was counting how many books that I had put on this list. So that's why there's a number. But I drew First Sister. Okay, let me grab it. So the book I drew was First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis. This is, I believe, a fantasy sci-fi story. I honestly bought this book because it was in the buy one get one half off section at Barnes & Noble. So I really don't know too much about it. But interesting pick. I still don't know how I want to treat my TBR mug. I don't know if I want to make this a bi-monthly thing or a quarterly thing, or like have a constraint as to when I need to read the book by. Like, I still don't know. And so we're just kind of pulling books and I'm reading them, I guess, whenever. So whenever I get around to this one, I will draw another pick. I am trying to like prioritize this book, but to read all the books that I kind of need to read for February, I have to read 100 pages a day to get all 6 books read. So that's going to be a lot because, you know, the books that I am choosing to read are big, chunky fantasy. Like, Ship of Destiny is almost 1,000 pages, and The Name of All Things is almost 700 pages, and Elantris is almost 600 pages. So I'm reading really chunky things, which is great. But I do want to prioritize those books in particular because those are part of my goals for the year, is to continue series, finish series, and read for my physical TBR. So if my TBR jar pick doesn't come around until like, you know, June or July or even later, it's not a big deal. It's just something kind of fun to just randomly pick a book and see what I get. So friends, that is it for my February want to read list. Really hoping I can keep to my reading schedule to get all the books done, especially the buddy read books and book club books. And most importantly, just have a good time reading. Like, that's the most important thing. And I think slowing down on my reading has been amazing. Like, I've been rating things so much higher. I've been remembering more of the books that I read, and I've just been wanting to read and spend more time reading than I have in previous years, which is really my biggest goal for 2024, is to fall back in love with reading, which I think we are so far accomplishing. So let me know down in the comments of any books that you would like to read in the month of February, as I would love to know, and I will see you all in another video soon. Goodbye!